Hello, my name is Becca Kendi, and my group chose to do a virtual lesson on second grade shapes. We introduced big ideas at the beginning of the lesson, which were like counting sides, vertices, and then at the end we even introduced symmetry. And I feel that in my lesson I kept pretty good pacing when I was speaking, and I had really good wait time when I wanted the students to think of an answer on their own. I will most likely keep doing this in my future so that it gives the students enough time to think about the correct answer to the problem. Another thing that went well in our lesson was our check for understanding through our Google form. We were sure to hit on all of our big ideas that we presented at the beginning of the lesson, and we targeted those throughout the lesson in order to make sure that the students were on board with what we were going to be teaching them and then assessing them on through the Google form. One thing that I could work on would be being consistent with my vocabulary. I noticed that throughout the lesson, I would go back and forth between saying vertex and vertices, yet I never really informed the students that those two words are synonyms. So this may have been confusing for some of the students since I did not go into further detail with these two words. I just kind of went about doing it. So next time I'll be sure to be very clear on all of the new vocabulary that I'm introducing to the students before I jump right into the lesson. When I watched all of my peers' videos, it was really great to learn from them, and everyone really did pick very different topics from each other, and it was interesting just to kind of see what topics every group decided to focus on. They were all so different. And on some of the Google Forms, other groups used different types of questions that my group did. Instead of only asking multiple choice questions like I did in my Google form, they used other types of questions such as short answers or paragraph answers for the students to show their knowledge that they learned during the lesson. And I think that this is very important to give the students different ways to show their understanding and show their knowledge, since all students like to be tested in different manners, and maybe not every student is too fond of multiple choice questions, and they might rather prefer to write out their answer in a short answer or paragraph style. So that was one thing that I thought was interesting that my peers did. Overall, I learned that virtual learning can be a very effective way to teach at all grade levels. I would prefer to do this in an older grade level setting, since I feel that like kindergartners and maybe first grade might not be as responsible enough to do this assignment at home on their own. But I also realized that you really do need to make sure that the students would have access to internet and a computer at home in order to complete the lesson. If you are in a district that doesn't provide Chromebooks or iPads to the students, or you're just aware of the general area that maybe a lot of students wouldn't have internet at home, maybe this isn't a good choice for you. But if this is a possibility, then the virtual learning does give the classroom a change of pace. So you can throw it into different lessons here and there just to kind of change how you are meeting the students' needs at their all different levels of learning. Since some students may not be too fond of in-class lecture, this definitely gives them the opportunity to change it up, and you can meet all of the students' needs for their different levels of learning. Thank you.